my friends. Glad you're here. Great workout for you today. It's all about stretching though. This is particularly for tennis players, golfers, and gardeners. I want you to try this. Go through them with me. If you find a stretch that you're like, wow, that's amazing, go ahead and add it to your daily routine because you probably need to do that every day. It doesn't hurt you to stretch every day. It's actually really good for you to stretch every day. Now, this should be done after a workout. This is not a pre-workout stretch. Just to share with you, there's two different kinds of stretching. There's dynamic, well, there's actually three, but there's dynamic stretching and there's static stretching. Dynamic stretching should be done as a warm up. So that's like moving stretching. That's why we always do that dynamic warm up before our workouts. Static stretching is done at the end where you're just holding stretches, and that will help your muscles recover faster. So you don't really ever want to do static stretches before a workout because it doesn't warm your muscles up very well at all. Okay, so with that being said, let's get started. Very gentle, easy stuff.
If you got
We're going to start
value
with
out of
the
this
forearm
video,
stretch. So
please
golfers,
subscribe,
tennis
and also
players,
comment
anyone
below
who's like gripping
what
a
else you'd
lot.
like to see, because this
We're going to
channel
start
is for you,
first.
to
So
help you
extend that
be better
arm,
in
and then
your
you're going to
everyday
just
life. Thanks
gently
for
pull
subscribing.
your fingers
Tell your
back.
friends about it.
So this is
And
a nice
we'll see
little,
you on the next
this
video.
could be good for somebody who has a desk job a lot and you're typing a lot. This stretch could be really good. You can also do this on the floor, and you just press your palms but into the floor on all fours, but we're not going to do that. If you want to try it, it's even deeper stretch, but today we're going to do standing. Okay, good. Now you're going to point your fingers down and then just gently pull your fingers towards your elbow, and it'll stretch the top part. The first stretch was the bottom part, and this should be the top part. Man, that's nice, huh? Whoo-wee. Gymnast, this is a good one if you're a gymnast and you're on bars, hanging from bars a lot. Okay, I'm going to go that second hand and fingertips to the ceiling. Gently pull. Should feel nice stretch in that bottom part of the forearm. Feels good for me. Even CrossFitters, people who are gripping a lot, right? Okay, now we're going to pull those fingers down and towards your elbow. Ah, that's nice. Yeah. Good, good, good. Okay, now we're going to go, because, you know, if you are golfing, tennis, gardening, anything like that, your shoulders are around it. So now we got to pull them back. Oh, that's nice. So you're just going to clasp those hands and then lift as high as you can behind you to get a nice stretch there. Now, what I want you to be aware of, please pull your neck back. You don't want to be out here with that neck. Keep that neck, those ears in line with your shoulders. And we'll hold them about 10 to 30 seconds is a good goal to hold these. Okay, let's go shoulder. So with particularly tennis and golf, you use a lot of rotator cuff and rear delt. So let's stretch that out. Man, stretching is amazing. It's a different kind of workout, other side, but it gets those same endorphins going. Good. So if you want to get an extra, I should show you. You want to try, so if you have your left arm crossed in front of your body, take your right ear to your right shoulder and drop your left arm down, left shoulder down, and you'll get an extra deep stretch across that upper trap. Okay, good. Now let's go to a calf stretch, standing calf stretch. So I'm going to show you a couple of different options here. If you don't get enough of a stretch just in a long lunge with pushing your heel into the floor, so I want you to try this stretch first. You should be feeling a nice stretch in the top part of your calf, your gastroc. If you don't, I'll show you a different one. And now, if you want to do a gentle little lean to the side of the leg that's forward, you can get a little hip flexor stretch. If you want a deeper one, You can take that arm overhead of the leg that's back, but please keep your shoulders over your hips. You don't want to be leaning forward, okay? Keep those shoulders over your hips. And now bend that back knee in. So bend the back knee in. Now it'll move that, it should move it to your soleus, the bottom part of your calf. Good. Now I'm going to show you a different one if you're not really feeling much. Find a curb, a tree root. I'm going to use a dumbbell because I don't have a curb or anything like that nearby, but you're going to put your toe, the ball of your foot on the curb and let your heel hang off. So you'll just step forward and let your heel hang off. That'll be a much deeper stretch through that gastroc. Might be too much, I don't know. And then go ahead and bend that knee in to get into your soleus. And that might be a way more effective stretch for you than the standing one. Either way, we're going to go to that second side. So driving your heel into the floor, both toes pointing forward, shoulders over hips. Right now you should be getting a nice gastroc top of that calf stretch. And if you want to raise the arm of the leg that's back to get some hip flexors, you can. And just lean away from that stretch. Good. Now we'll bend that back knee in. Good, good, good. Now it should have moved it to the bottom part of your calf, of that back leg. Okay, great. Now let's go to quad. So a standing quad stretch. Standing knees slightly bent so you're not hyperextending in the back of the knee. If you need to hold on to something, please do. Sometimes people, if they raise their arm in front of them and like focus on their thumb, they're able to balance better. So whatever you need to do to get a nice stretch in that quad. Oh, that's nice. Okay, other side. That feels really good. Oh man. And so it's great to stretch after every workout, which is what we do. But if you're doing your own workouts, please make sure you stretch. Now we're going to go to an inner thigh stretch. So you're going to go super wide with those feet or those legs. And then you're just going to lean right elbow to right knee. You're going to get a really great stretch in that left inner thigh. So if you need to go lean forward just a little, it'll move the stretch higher up the leg. Lower down the leg. If you set your hips back just a little bit, it'll move it higher up into that inner thigh. Now I'm going to show you another option if you're like, my legs are too tired to support my body weight to do that. We're going to do a different one. So it's from a kneeling position. I'll kneel on my right, and then you'll just kick your left leg out. That toe pointing forward, your foot is flat. So you won't get as much stretch if your foot isn't flat on the ground, okay, or your mat. So we'll start with your hip over your knee, okay, and then we'll slowly sit your hips back so that you're sitting on your heel. And that will move it farther up your leg and stretch farther up into that inner thigh. So just work through that range of motion and you can feel some difference in that inner thigh. So you have two options. You can stay here on the floor, switch legs, plant that foot if you are kneeling, or if you want to do that stretch from a standing position, you'll just switch sides. But yeah, shifting your hips weight back and forth just a little can change where that stretch is on that inner thigh. Yeah? Does that feel good? Mhm. Me too. Okay, great. Let's go hamstrings. A couple of different options. You can do a gentle one, the standing, where you just kick your front right leg out, right knee is slightly bent, and you get a nice little hamstring stretch here. If you want to go a little bit more, cross your right foot in front of your left and then lean over or bend over. And you're going to get a really nice stretch in those hamstrings this way too. So a couple different ways. You should feel most of the stretch if you crossed your right over left, you'll feel most of it in your right leg. We'll switch sides. So you can either do that standing, just kick that left leg out, left knee bent, or cross left in front of right, and then bend over. So just find what works best and where you get the best stretch. Either one is great, right? Okay, now let's go to TFL because it gets, and we got to get so TFL and glute because you are working so much. So crossing right in front of left, lean to the left, reach that right arm overhead. Your knees are slightly bent, big stretch in that outer hip area. Ah, magical. Oh, isn't it amazing what stretching can do? Oh boy. Okay, other side. So left over right, lean to the right with that left hand going overhead. Oh man, just make sure your knees are slightly bent. If you need to hold on to something, please do. Okay, good. And now we're gonna get some glute, but it's also some a little bit of ab from a kneeling position. Hopefully you can kneel after a tennis game, right? And gardening. It doesn't hurt your knee to kneel. But you're going to right foot planted, and then you're just going to reach right elbow to right knee and left elbow to the sky. And it's going to move the stretch a little bit more interior or more to the medial part of the body. And it's big stretch to that whole side there. If you want to reach the arm overhead, it'll change and get it more into some like ribs. Good. And we'll switch sides. So plant that left foot. We're going to go left elbow to left inner thigh. Then reach the arm straight overhead. If you want to plant that right hand, you can. I'm sorry, your left hand, you can, if that's a little easier to stay balanced. Now, if you want to reach that right arm overhead, but we're really trying to open up through the chest here too. So we don't want to be too far, um, trying to really stack those shoulders. Good. And great. Now, for your glutes, you can do, I'll show you two different ones. If you're okay being on the ground, because I don't know what your situation is like if you have a yoga mat in your trunk or not. But you can do a pigeon pose. So you're just going to fold your right leg under you. So your knee is kind of like a number 4. You can sit nice and tall, shoulders high, or if you want to lean forward and lay flat, you can do that too. So this is one way to stretch. If you're like, nope, I am not getting on the ground, totally fine. You can go to a chair and cross your knee and lean forward, or if you just want to do it from a standing position, cross your right ankle over your left knee and then go into a seated position, pushing your right knee away from you. So you have lots of different options here. They each stretch just a little differently, but it's still all targeted towards the glute. Okay, so we'll switch sides. That's nice, huh? So if you're seated in a chair, you don't have to worry about staying upright and balancing. But if you're sitting in a chair, just cross that ankle over the knee and lean forward. And it'll be a really great stretch for you either way. Okay, good. And that's it. Not even 15 minutes of stretching. Got all of those muscles that you work when you're. So if you found something, add it to your daily workout, daily stretch routine. And if you have other areas that are tight and need a little bit extra work, please let me know. I'll do a video for you. Thanks for being here. I hope you have a great day. See you at the next workout.